This is Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Television. My name is Joshua Isha, welcoming you to the program Back to Farm. Back to Farm is a program that tells you all you need to know if you eventually want to go into agriculture, probably plant agriculture or animal agriculture. And today we are at a farm, Guyana, somewhere outskirts of Abuja. And of course, we'll be talking to the farm caretaker where he's going to be telling us the tricks and of course uh, uh, those special secrets on growing layers birds. This very poultry that is right behind me is housing 15,000 birds, and it is said that 350 crates of eggs are being brought to your market every day. So come with me as we're going to be exploring this very farm as the farm caretaker tells us all we need to know about birds, layers in particular. Come with us.
What is your name? At what stage were these birds brought to this poultry? The birds were brought 2 years ago. Since then, we've been nurturing them to make sure they give us the desired result as expected. At what point did they start laying eggs? Like I rightly said, these birds were basically brought at the point of lay. We nurture them until they start laying the eggs. And there are some birds that are brought immediately they start laying eggs. As for these ones, they were brought just 2 months away from the point of lay. How many eggs do they lay in a day? These birds in particular, they lay roughly 300 to 350 crates of eggs in a day. How many bag of feed do they eat a day? Honestly, it depends on the cage. This cage, as you can see, is different from the ones over there. So the feeds are distributed according to how many birds are in a cage. Like this cage consumes 12 bags of feed a day. But you see the other cage over there, because the number of birds on this is different, it consumes 15 bags of feed a day. What are the major challenges in poultry business? Honestly, to tell you the truth, the biggest challenge is marketing. Sometimes it drops while sometimes it's high, especially when school is in session. You see, at this point in time, school is not in session, so the consumption of egg drops drastically. But as soon as students resume school, the need for eggs will rise, and as such, we tend to have more customers booking for the eggs. In your opinion, what is the best practice to have good eggs for starters? First and foremost, it depends on your budget. And in the present situation, everything is expensive. There are drugs, the tools, in fact, the feed is expensive. So you need to know what you want, and sometimes, and most at times, in bird rearing, you have to exercise patience because in some cases, you don't get the expected result in the first instance. To some people, they end up getting frustrated and try to go out of business. But I assure you, if you're patient in this business, you'll end up having a bountiful harvest of eggs that will bring much income and gain to your poultry. In terms of vaccination, how is their vaccination done? There are different vaccination. The vaccination is done after every month interval. At what point do you make their water available? When it comes to their water, you don't allow water to finish at any point, even more than the food. The water is very important and must be available at all times because you can't predict when a bird will need to drink. Talking about their dung, what happens to it? Mostly their dung are being bought by farmers. Farmers come from within and outside Abuja to book for the dung. That way we sell it to them and they take it to their farm, which serves as fertilizer. But now that it's rainy season, because of lack of sun to get them dried, we just leave them here. After the rainy season, we get them out and dry them, put them in a sack, and people come from within and outside Abuja to buy them. Your poultry seems to be odorless, unlike others. What happened? Basically, when you talk about odorless or not having a smelling environment in a poultry, it depends on maintenance. And here in our farm, we don't joke with our hygiene. We try our best to make sure everything is fine. As you can see, we work round the clock to make sure everything is in place. There are 15,000 birds here. How many workers are here? And what are your duties? Well, everyone has his duty here. When we came in here with you, you were cleared by the security man. You can see some girls out there. Their work is to pick the eggs and put them in a crate. And this other man makes sure he feeds the birds. Like I said earlier, water is always available. Sometimes even at night. We make sure we come up here to see that the birds are not lacking anything so they can give us the desired result of laying the expected eggs the next morning. Do you mean you come to feed them at night? Well, it depends. Sometimes we come as early as 4 a.m. to feed them and also look at any bird that is sick so we can give them the needed attention and avoid the spread of whatever disease actually might be in the cage or farm. There you have a sick bird. What do you do with it, or what do you think is wrong with it? This one is already on treatment. It's possible an egg broke inside it, or a heart attack, or even liver problem. These sort of cases are bound to happen in a poultry, so they are simply inevitable. What you need to do is to be smart enough to always check on each cage so that whatever is wrong with that bird will not end up spreading to the others, because a bird that is affected might end up affecting the whole poultry. So you have to be on top of the situation to make sure you check on the birds as often as possible. What if it's an egg that broke inside it? What happens? To be honest with you, when an egg breaks in a bird, it is impossible to survive. So to avoid the spread of whatever killed it, we examine it, check it properly, and find out the cause of the sickness so it wouldn't spread. Like I said earlier, the disease in birds easily spread to other birds and end up affecting more casualties. So we make sure we check them as often as we can to make sure we win in all cases. Does every bird lay an egg daily? Each bird lays an egg every day. Why did you ask us to put our legs in that water? We want to make sure we sanitize your feet. Possibly you are carrying germs with you that might be harmful to the poultry, so we will not have complications. It's one mistake that a lot of poultry farmers make, allowing everyone to come into their poultry without being sanitized. That way a lot of disease can spread, which can be harmful to a cage or even the entire birds in general. So you must sanitize yourself to make sure that does not occur. We take caution because, as you can see, there are birds that can come in, so we try to take measures. The water you give them, where is the source? The water is borehole water basically. There are a lot of boreholes in this poultry that supplies water to the poultry. We make sure the water are as clean as possible. That way it won't affect their growth and laying processes. Where is the water container? What we do basically is whenever they are thirsty, they will hit on this place, which is their tap, so they can get the water. The birds are not taught on how to do this. They automatically know when they are thirsty, this is where to actually put their beak, and that way they can be able to drink and quench their thirst. What are the major challenges you face as a farm? The challenge we face here is the food, because they are now more expensive than ever, and if you don't feed them well, they won't lay eggs. So you must feed them. And when you try to tell the customers why eggs are expensive, they don't understand. But people quite understand that the feed ingredients are too expensive. These birds are 2 years old, laying eggs. How long will they take to stop laying? Well, they are almost due for laying eggs, because they will be laying for 3 years, then we bring some new ones. What do you do with the ones that are done laying? will sell them because there are people who specialize on buying old layers. And what they are old, the number of eggs they lay drops down, maybe from 10 eggs daily to 7 or even 5 eggs daily. So that tells you that they are old enough to be sold, or better still, bring new ones so you can actually start up a new process. Why are some eggs small and some big? It depends on the health of the bird that gives you a big egg or small egg. So if a bird is sick, it ends up giving you a small egg or not even laying at all. But when a bird is healthy, it's going to give you the normal size or even a bigger size because it depends on its health that amounts to the size of the egg it lays. When do they lay more eggs? They lay more eggs during rainy season, but they lay less during heat period. So in this period we are in, they lay more eggs because the weather is not cold neither hot. It's normal for them to actually lay the eggs. When you get the eggs, do you take them to the market or people come here to buy? We have several customers and we design it in a way that if you get for this week, you won't get the next week so that we can be fair to everyone.
Well, we've been here at the Guyana farms, where the farm caretaker actually took us round to the processes and procedures in which they are able to produce, of course, eggs from the layers birds. On that note, we come to the end of the program Back to Farm here on Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Television. My name is Joshua Ishain, trying to say stay safe and remember, agriculture is indeed the production of food and animal useful to you and for the industries to actually strive. On that note, have yourself a splendid day. Cheers.